Hey folks, Gary here. Happy Tuesday to you. I hope you're having a really good Tuesday morning. So, Monday we looked at fear and faith. Uh, when you have a fear that the world would say is very rational, well, yeah, you should be afraid of that. Right? A rational fear. When that meets an irrational faith, because the world would say, you're crazy, believe in that. When those two things hit, what happens? Well, what happens is our faith in God is not irrational at all. It might appear to be, but it's not. It's actually very rational. And that fear that seemed very rational is now irrational because it's in the presence of God. And of course, it can't stand to who God is because God is just so good and so powerful. So for today, I want to look at Joshua chapter 1 and Joshua chapter 3, and talking about being strong and courageous in the face of something that's very fearful. So we start off in verse 1, chapter 1, verse 9. And Joshua is leading the Israelites. He's now in charge. Moses has passed on, and now Joshua is the man. And that can be very intimidating. He was the second in charge, but now all the weight is on him. And if you ever had a dramatic shift in your life where all of a sudden you're now in this position instead of this one, that can cause a lot of insecurities in our lives. It's like, I've never done this before. I don't know what to do. Am I okay to do this? All those kind of things. It's brand new and it's fresh. And new things can be really intimidating sometimes, and they can bring a lot of insecurity in our lives. And God says to Joshua this is my command as he leads the Israelites. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. So God's saying to Joshua, don't be worried about this. Yes, I know you've never done this before. This seems like above your abilities and all that kind of stuff. Don't be afraid of this newness because I am with you. I have called you to this. I will not abandon you in this. I'm walking with you. And the same words are basically said to the Israelites in Joshua 3, parts of verses 3 and 4. And this is the instructions given to the Israelites as Joshua leads them. And it says this: when you see the Levitical priests carrying the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, move out from your positions and follow them. So what's the ark of the covenant? Well, that's where the presence of God was. At least they believe the presence of God was between the cherubim, between the angels. And so when you see that ark going, move out and follow it. God is leading you. God is present and he is leading you. And it continues on, since you have never traveled this way before, they will guide you. So be strong and courageous. When God leads you to places you've never traveled before, that could be a physical thing. That could be like a location, but it could also be your profession. It could be your vocation, or it could be anything in life where it is brand new. You've never done this before. This is new. You've never gone this way. But if God's leading you, it's going to be all right. You don't have to be fearful about it. You don't have to have insecurity about it because God's leading you. He's actually ahead of you in the process. He's not just with you, he's ahead of you. He will not abandon you. He will not leave you. Matter of fact, he's going to support you and strongly support you. And you can trust in that. You say, okay, Lord, I trust you. Even if I got this wrong, I trust you because you said you'll never abandon me and you'll never leave me. So we can trust God when we step into new things.